thinking then.
Okay.
So then you believe in the infallibility of the councils.
Are you talking about the ecumenical councils?
The infallibility of the councils.
The council is a very general thing. You're going to be at the specific.
Oh, yes, there's many different councils that talk
Right.
about this very topic that we're talking
Right.
about.
But that's
And the
not...
infallibility of the councils make these claims, and they've changed over time, just like Vatican I, II, and III.
I don't believe in those. And there's no Vatican II.
This conversation totally breaks down. If you don't believe in the councils and you don't believe in the Vatican.
No. I'm not a Catholic. I'm an Orthodox Christian.
Orthodox Christian, okay, but still, this conversation starts to
I-
break down because the infallibility of the councils that you're talking about, based off of what the church fathers claim and the councils that they had,
Right.
where they said this is infallible, this based off of this tradition, which is
Right.
connected to Scripture.
Right.
There's an internal contradiction because they changed.
First off, they didn't change. And second off, the question I'll ask for you is, you believe in a New Testament canon.
Vatican I and Vatican II didn't change.
Why do you keep offering that to me? I believe that those are heretical councils. I'm not a Catholic.
Okay, but you're pushing me though on the church fathers.
No, I'm pushing you specifically on the Christians in the first and second. If you can point to me to anyone in the first or second century whose records are preserved, because I'll grant you that maybe someone had written about it and got destroyed. We don't have any extant records of anyone that's saying what you're saying or what Cliff is saying. It's not at all. That said that the Eucharist is symbolic, or that baptism is symbolic, or that it's a one-time belief. All of these things you're talking about came out of the blue 500 years ago. So I'm asking you, where's the continuity? Where's the historical continuity?
I've looked at all the historical records that I see
Okay.
of the earliest Christians,
Right.
the thousands upon thousands of Jews who became Christian overnight after the resurrection.
Okay.
Everything related to communion, nowhere does it say specifically they thought the bread was actually Jesus' body. Jesus could have been there with them the night before his death, and Jesus was taking part in this communion.
Right.
So what that meant was, when he stretched out his hand to grab the bread, to dip it in the wine, then he was taking a piece of his kneecap, dipping it in some of the blood that perhaps was pouring out of his arm, and then eating himself, ingesting himself.
That's a very
So
carnal way
a
of
lot
understanding.
of different Protestants would say it's just completely contradictory. But my friend, for you to stand up here and say the earliest Christians all thought exactly that Jesus was saying body, physical body, equates directly to the bread, wine directly to the blood. I think you don't know what you're really saying right now.
I can list for you all
Because
of
I
the-
agree with the church fathers. Yes, many of them. St. Augustine, you're exactly right.
Augustine came 400 years after.
Right.
I'm talking about Justin Martyr, Ignatius of Antioch, Clement of Rome, Athanasius, Irenaeus. All of them, none of them line up with what you're saying. And you could go ahead and say, well, those are just people. But I'm asking you, point to me for one person